This is a view of Vancouver that I have never seen. Not from this side. Art gallery too? Oh, I mean, what a cloudy morning, but it's not raining. So that is nice. We put one of those little room service tags on the door last night with our breakfast order, and I put 8 a.m. and I'm like, are you here with my omelet? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm sorry for the delay.
It's kind of a weird feeling to look at very modern industrial cementy glass buildings and be like, wow, so beautiful. But it's just such a different vantage point that I've ever seen in Vancouver. I've never been in windows from this direction. Anyway, so we are here for the weekend, staying downtown because we have my sister-in-law's wedding today. It was very much like a similar thing to what we did, where they're having a beautiful elopement dinner, but a lot of the family has flown in, so we are spending the day with the fam and getting ready. And then they are getting married this evening, so we're gonna be getting ready later, obviously. But this morning we decided to just eat our breakfast, and we're gonna go for a nice long walk. Probably go have a coffee and say hi to everybody this morning before we come back and get ready. So I just donned the sneakers, leggings, hoodie, nice little strolling fit. And even though it's not raining, it's freaking chilly out there, Batman. Now that I look really fast, let's go for a walk. Walking in a city on a weekend morning always feels so special. It's so much more quiet. There's no hordes of people. There's hardly any traffic as cars drive by. But it's so nice. We're just walking by BC Place and Rogers Arena. It's the stadium here in Vancouver if you've never been. Now listen, we both grew up downtown in Vancouver. We've seen a lot for sure. This is one of the busier little setups I've ever seen. There's WWE, WrestleMania, there's Cirque du Soleil on the other corner. I'm so excited to see what it's gonna be. This coming weekend is the Taylor Swift Eras Tour final dates, in case you're wondering. Oh, that's really loud. As I was saying, these are the final dates on the Eras Tour, okay? It's gonna be madness here. I can't decide, do we just stay in our house and not leave? Or do we attempt to come down and see what's going on? I still have this delusional hope that I'm going to somehow get tickets. For me, my mom, and my little sisters, because they have still not been. I tried, they tried, we all tried so hard to get tickets, but the resale prices of these, I just need to know who's paying for this. Who's buying these tickets? They're crazy. And they started selling the tickets behind the stage. It's no stage view. I don't even know if she's done that at any of her other concerts, which leads me to believe that something big is going down. If she drops reputation here in Vancouver and I am not in the building, basically all I'm trying to say is if anyone has a spare ticket, if anyone's going to Vancouver, I'm here, I'm home, and I'm available. I'm ready and willing. I volunteer as tribute. I need to show you guys. Okay, this is Mama. This is my mother-in-law. You guys, she's not even a florist, but you're a florist now. Your services will be out for hire. I need to show you the flowers she did. They're absolutely stunning. Look at all of these centerpieces. It's so beautiful. She did this all. No, that's crazy. All right. We just finished breakfast with the fam. I'm not gonna lie, we're sprinting back because we were just having nice chats. Having breakfast number two for us really, but just had a coffee, said hi to everybody. And now I'm running a little bit late for an appointment that I have today, which the timing's not ideal, but this appointment has been in the calendar for a few months now. And I need to talk to you guys about it because it's a bit of a serious subject. But right now we just gotta get back. So this is something that I've never talked about on my YouTube channel, and I've always felt really scared about it, but I need to be honest with you guys about something that happened to me a few years ago in relation to my skin, okay? So if you've been a follower of my channel, I'm sure that we're all familiar with my margarita burn, okay? That happened to me in 2019. And pretty much after that, I just became a little bit more paranoid. I guess that's the right word, paranoid and aware of sun exposure and just making sure that I'm wearing my sunscreen. Like that's when I really got into sunscreen. I really got into the protection of my hands and the protection of all of my things. I definitely exposed myself less in the sun following that because I was just so scared. That was like traumatizing for me, okay? 3rd-degree burns from lime juice in the sun, life-changing for me forever. So when that happened in 2019, I had gone to see a doctor and a dermatologist to just discuss about things, and they did an overall skin check, and there were a couple of spots on my leg that were a little bit concerning, and mostly because I'm a very freckly moly person. I've got spots all over me, but there were 2 spots in particular on my leg that we were a little bit concerned about, and we were concerned about them because they were actually black, like solid black, and there were no other spots on my body that looked like this. So right then and there in the office with the dermatologist, she removed both of the spots because this is something that I didn't know, but when you're doing skin checks, they can't really, like, I'm sure it's case by case, but they can't really determine anything about your skin until they do a biopsy, remove it, and go and send it to a lab. And I'll never forget, I was like, my 2 moles are in a petri dish being sent away to a lab. I just thought that was the funniest thing. Scary, but also funny. So my 2 little moles that could rolled away on a truck and went and got some testing. And you know, this is where things got weird for me because one of them came back nothing, it was totally fine. The other one came back, I forget the exact word. So sorry, I'm blanking, but it was pre-melanoma, and I'm sure there's some fancier scientific word for that, but she was like, if this is left, it will develop into melanoma and then skin cancer. So we're gonna remove a larger surface area around it because that little mole came back positive. I then had to go in and have a larger surface area surgically removed around. So that was then booked in for 2020, April of 2020, might I add. So obviously this is immediately following lockdown. We were all terrified and sad, locked in our homes at the time. Not funny, I'm sorry, but I laugh when I'm stressed. And because allegedly this was a concerning bit of skin and chunk that needed to be removed out of my skin, it was deemed essential. And in April of 2020, mid-peak lockdown, I ran in and had it little surgically removed. I'm saying it's like little because it was really nothing. I was in there for like 5 minutes, but it was kind of a big deal in terms of the recovery because it was on my shin, on my leg. You have to keep your leg elevated, I guess, or else it won't heal properly. And I took that very seriously because I really don't like any of my scarring and things, and I'm very aware of that. And it was locked down anyway. We weren't leaving our apartments. Literally, we weren't leaving our apartments. So I had the little chunk taken out. It was stitched up. I'm just gonna give you a warning. I'm gonna insert photos. So if things, stitches, cuts, all that good stuff makes you a little queasy, now's your time to skip ahead 10 seconds. But I'm gonna insert the photo right here of what my leg looked like afterwards because it was crazy. It literally looked like a sewn up doll. It was so crazy. But that was a little chunk that was taken out of my leg, and then for the next 2 weeks of lockdown, I laid there with my leg elevated. And that was a really low time for me. I was really down. Like I literally wasn't moving my body at all. It was crazy. I remember looking at my Apple Watch on those days and I had like 50 steps to and from the bathroom. It wasn't necessarily painful, but it would like throb. Like you could literally feel the blood rushing to the area every time. That was when I crushed Stardew Valley. Oh, bless Stardew Valley. It really did get me through that time. And so because of that, I was told to go ahead and get yearly checks with a dermatologist and a doctor and just keep an eye on any other spots that are growing on my skin. So I've just definitely been a lot more aware. She said that it was not so normal to have what I did have, I guess, at a young age. She said it's like more common for people in their 50s and up, but she said that it could have been triggered by my extensive exposure in the sunbeds, in the tanning beds in my youth. And obviously, like, we know so much more now, but for those of us millennials and older who grew up in a time where tanning beds were very much glorified and very celebrated, I definitely had my time in the fake sun. Okay, and I've never told you this before, but it is a joke that I use often in my real life because it's something that I look back on now and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? Now there is a much larger, very random and funny circumstance as to why this happened, but at one point in my life, in grade 10, the year of me being in grade 10, I had a tanning bed in my room. It was a piece from my stepmom's old hair and tanning salon, and then we moved houses and I just had the biggest room in the basement, and it just so happened that the tanning bed was put in my room. Like I said, there's a longer story as to why it was, but for an entire year of my life, me, my stepmom, and my dad all rotated and just shared that tanning bed. I was certainly the most tanned I had ever been in my life. Felt like I looked great, but I definitely like boiled my body, and obviously now, as I am older, I'm not looking back on that fondly whatsoever. You know, it's just one of those things where you can't change it, so I try not to dwell on it too much, but it is a fact. It is something that I did and that happened, and it is my assumption in this dermatologist that I saw that constant, consistent tanning bed exposure is far more harmful than any just usual sun exposure. So that's that. That's my little story. I've never told you guys that on YouTube. You know, be gentle, be kind to me. I'm not saying it's what you should do. I'm just telling you what I did as a silly little youth, okay? So all that being said, these things have happened with my skin, and now I watch my skin like a psychopath. I'm constantly looking at all of the new spots that appear on my skin. I'm trying to be so good about it. Anyway, basically, it's another larger, long-winded story, but I don't have a doctor or a dermatologist. If I wanted to get in to see a dermatologist, the wait list is months and months and months. My darling, angel, beautiful cosmetic dermatologist doesn't touch anything when it comes to skincare. Picture me popping in to correct my little blunder here. Obviously, by skincare, I meant to say skin cancer, okay? Not all dermatologists do skin checks and check for those kinds of things. And as I go on to say, I ended up meeting Dr. Danny, who is a skin cancer specialist, and I was very, very lucky and very grateful to have been able to get in to see him. And also, while I have you here, I'd also just like to clarify that while I have never talked about all of this and this little skin journey that I've been on, there was one video where I did insert those same photos, and I did not give you the warning. So to clarify, those pictures have been shown on my YouTube channel before, but I've never talked about the longer story. So thank you all. Now you know my old long baking history in the tanning bed. Thank you so much. Long story long, I was in New York with La Roche-Posay, and I was in a room with a ton of dermatologists who were on this trip, and I got into a lovely conversation with Dr. Danny, who is a dermatologist from Calgary, and we were chatting about all kinds of things, and I told him that I was like concerned about this little spot in my nose, and he was like, whoa, yeah, let's check that out. I'm actually coming to Vancouver. I'll see you in the clinic when I'm there. And I was like, Dr. Danny, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was really, truly so kind, and probably would have been the fastest option for me rather than trying to go through the route of going to a walk-in clinic, getting signed up to a months and months and months, if not years long wait list to see a dermatologist, which is what happens here in Canada for things that are less serious. So I'm very grateful to him. I'm very grateful to have this opportunity to go and see him. So I don't even know if it is anything, but this is something that I am now going to get looked at. And I would also just like to add, this has been booked since I was there in September. He gave me this date then. It's been in the calendar. I knew this was happening on this Saturday, November 30th. So when my dearest darling sister-in-law told us 2 weeks ago that they were doing a surprise elopement wedding celebration, I was like, totally, listen, I'm just letting you know I've had this appointment booked, so if I show up with a hole in my face, I'm so sorry. I'm absolutely joking, but that is what happened. It was very last minute, and I was like, we'll see you in the morning and I'll see you in the evening. I just gotta scoot away for this little appointment quick in the afternoon. So now I am going to go and see if this is anything or if I am just very paranoid. I actually have one other spot on my chest that I'm a little bit concerned about because it's shiny. Anyway, all this being said, this is a subject that obviously I think about and I'm so paranoid by, and it has been a huge part of my life over the last few years, but especially when all of this happened during lockdown, I know that you guys might be like, why did you never talk about this? This is like a subject I always talk about, loving being bronzed and being in the sun, and I love summer and blah, blah, but in comparison to everything else that was going on in the world, this is so small on the scale of what people are going through right now. I'm absolutely not, saying poor me or posting about this. It just certainly didn't feel like the right time. And it's something that I've kind of just been a little bit in denial about, a little bit ashamed about. I'm a little bit embarrassed about it. Like, it's not great overall, but I also do feel like if this does become something greater and I do have to get a chunk removed out of my face, obviously I want to tell you guys about it. I want you to be aware, but if it would help one person out there who's watching this to just be a little bit more concerned about taking care of your skin and also getting your skin checked regularly if you are prone and susceptible to skin damage. And I mean, we all are. It's all something we should be aware of, but I'm just trying to open the conversation. I do think it's important for everyone to be aware of this and the things that can happen and the things that have happened to me. If I can show you guys my experience, hopefully I can help one of you, or at least open your eyes and ears in case it ever happens to you. So this is my appointment. That is my spiel. That is my little skin journey that I have been on. And now I have my appointment at 1 p.m. I'm gonna go see Dr. Danny. I've decided in this moment that I'm never again opening up the weather app because it lies to me every single day. It's raining. It's raining and I didn't pack an umbrella. It literally said it wasn't raining this weekend. Anyway, this clinic is at Canada Place. The Christmas market is set up here. I probably won't be able to play this because of copyright. But anyway, time for the skin check. So I'm here with Dr. Danny.
Hi.
Thank you so much. Okay, so he's actually based in Calgary, but okay, what is your specialization?
So I do surgical and cosmetic dermatology. Skin cancer is my primary training. I did a whole fellowship in surgery for skin cancer, specifically Mohs micrographic surgery. There's only about 15 of us in Canada, so pretty special.
Oh, that's crazy.
But I also love talking about skincare, and you know, that's kind of how we met, right?
Yeah.
When we were in New York with L'Oreal and talking about some of their products. So yeah.
So he has made me feel a lot more safe. I'm not dying, so that's nice. And the thing on my nose is nothing, which is crazy. I don't understand, but it's still so important, and I'm going to have to continue to do my yearly checkups. So
Absolutely.
You know, follow Dr. Danny, Dr. Misha over here. Sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
Thank you for seeing me. I
Absolutely.
really appreciate it. I was actually thinking I was dying, so that's great.
And welcome to our beautiful clinic in Bucol Harbor.
Future me again. I would just like to wrap up this little section by thanking Dr. Danny again, because obviously it was so amazing that he was able to squeeze me in, and I feel very, very lucky that he did so. There's a little spot. Oh, can you see it there? Will this show? Can you see this big circle on my nose? This was the main thing. I have been like panicking about this spot on my nose because it's one of those things where I have tried to take a photo of it, but every single time I try to, it just doesn't show up the way that I see it. It's certain lighting, certain like down pointing lighting. There's like this crazy clear bump that has appeared on my nose, and it was very bizarre, and I have no other spots on my body like it. So me Googling WebMD thinking I'm dying, thought that this was like a giant skin cancer patch, which is what led me to go see Dr. Danny in the first place. And then there's a few other spots, obviously one on my chest, there's one on my butt, and also another one on my leg, and he took photos of all of them, and he was like, listen, there's always like a small chance that something could contain some melanoma, but you never know until you do the biopsy. So he's like, they don't look like anything crazy, so we'll just continue to monitor them. And so he took some photos, bless him. Again, Dr. Danny, thank you so much. And I'll just have to keep my eyes peeled if anything changes with these spots. So we're all clear. I didn't mean to scare anybody, but because this has been a part of my history, I felt like it was an important thing to talk about, to make some of you aware, to acknowledge the fact that if you have had extensive sun exposure or been in the tanning beds like me, that it's something that you should be aware of and be keeping an eye on. So thank you all so much for hearing me. Back to the vlog. How big this view is. The camera always just minimizes it in comparison to what the eye sees. But what I can tell you is it's way too cold to be out here without a jacket right now. We've just been enjoying a few moments in this room this morning because the sun is out and it is so beautiful. I just filmed a little reel. It's always so funny filming those things because obviously there's like absolutely nothing organic about it whatsoever, unless like Dan would sit and film it for me and I could actually just exist. It's always going to be setting up the tripod, running back, jumping back in bed, getting more, like it's stupid, but it's like nice vibes. Like I just wanted to have a peaceful little reel reflecting this gorgeous view with my morning coffee because it's just so fabulous. Anyway, so I just posted that on Instagram. And we just finished packing up the room because we're going to go meet the fam for breakfast. So we just want to make sure that we pack up all our stuff and we have to check out before. So yeah, the wedding was last night. I wouldn't have brought like my vlog camera anyway, but we were just taking photos, recording clips, and trying to get as much content for everybody in the family. But naturally, when Dan and I were getting ready, we were so rushed. We were frantic. So there's absolutely no evidence of that portion of our evening, but it was such a good night. So much love. It was perfect. Boj and John, you guys are perfect, and it was beautiful. And I can't believe that it's already a wrap on this weekend. It's so crazy. But truly, it could not be a more perfect Sunday out here. It looks fake. Look at that. It makes me miss living in an apartment building. Like I miss having a view. Definitely want to come back to this hotel in this room again. It's like unreal. If I had known about this is where Dan and I could have gotten married when we did our little wedding evening. It's so nice. We finished breakfast and now we are driving. Well, we're on our way home, but there was one place that Dan had sent me a TikTok of. It was a video of Gourmet Warehouse, and apparently it's this like huge store of all the gifting things and fun things, and so we thought we'll just go check it out. It's on our way home and see if we can find anything for Christmas gifts, some gifts coming up.
It's a kitchen store.
So it is food.
Gourmet warehouse. Makes sense.
Gourmet, no, that does make sense. So we're home. Just finished unpacking a few of the boxes that came into the door. I need to unpack my bag. The house is back to a crazy, crazy messy state. I just made a little soup, honestly, because we have no groceries. We need to grocery shop either tonight or tomorrow morning. I feel like it's gonna be tomorrow, but we just had a few like random veggies in the freezer in the fridge, so I literally just boiled it all together, blended it, and had a good little veggie lentil soup. Some of the things that came in PR, Nest holiday candles. It's like my favorite scent, this whole cedar, like pine needle. I love it. We even have these little pouches that you can like put in the Christmas tree to spread this kind of smell all throughout the house. I love it. I like sit there and sniff this, and Nest comes out with a different version of this every year. They sent us one, and they sent the holiday diffuser. Now the other package that came in is so random and so funny. I have no idea who sent this, but I got a package from Vaseline. But it's just really funny because after I talked about my bedazzled Tresemme hairspray in my favorites video, I don't know if this is related to that or if they just did this anyway, but Vaseline sent me a bunch of bedazzled product. How cute is this? I just need to know, like, is there a business that does this? Like, that is, oh, sorry. It has my name. My name is on everything. You will never lose me. I will be found wherever I am. Look at this giant tub of the healing jelly, all bedazzled with my name. That cursive writing is impressive. That is crazy. It's so beautiful. Whoever sent this, if it was the Vaseline team, thank you. Just in time. Just in time. I was actually also really curious about this. This is the Cocoa Shimmer Jelly Stick Body Luminizer. It smells nice. Hi, Meryl. Do you want to say hi to the people? Yes, you do. Meryl. See, she's so loud on the ground. She just, and then I pick her up and she's like, thank you. Then on the table, we got to bring home some of Mama's floral creations. You guys, I can't begin to express to you what an amazing job she did on these. Like, they're homemade, and I actually have to show you what she did because it's so brilliant, and she did such an amazing job. So we got to bring home 2 of the arrangements. I don't know if I'm gonna leave them on the table. Maybe I'll put them on the coffee table or what, but they're so, so pretty. I'm not gonna lie, they did fall apart a little bit in the car. Some pieces fell off, and I'm so sorry. They fell apart a little bit, but they're still so beautiful. So what she did was bought these little containers, bought the like flower sponges that you can stick into and they hold water, and just dabbed all the flowers in. She went to the flower market, like that's literally what it's called, it's a flower wholesaler, and bought all these beautiful whites and greens and just created her own masterpieces, and they were all along the table and it just looked so beautiful. She even made a corsage and a bouquet for bride and groom, and like beautiful. Beautiful. I couldn't believe it. We're like, hello, this is your calling. Please become a florist. Because I just feel like it takes a certain eye to be able to put these together and decide what flowers go where. And it's just such a talent. Such art.
Corsage is what the woman wears on the wrist.
Oh.
Boutonniere is the...
Oh, my bad. Boutonniere? Really? Mm-hmm. Boutonniere? Guys, I'm just really showing the internet. I'm exposing myself. I know nothing. Jon Snow. Okay, great. The corsage is the wristy wrist for the females. I hate it here. There's too many words to remember. I can't. Anyway, Mama Nikolic, you are an artiste. These are beautiful, and now I feel so lucky that we get to have them on our table for the next however long they survive. And then from our little stop at Gourmet Warehouse, honestly, guys, it was kind of overwhelming in there. Like, there was so much, and there were so many things that we could have gone ham on, especially when it comes to the kitchen and baking and cooking goods. Now we know if we ever need something, like, that's where we'll go. But to be honest, it was like so busy. You were just like sardining around. Probably wouldn't go
back on a weekend. If I were to go back, I'd go back on a weekday. And they had lots of ornaments. They were very cute, but there weren't any particular ones that we were looking for that they had. But what I did get was a strainer. This beautiful strainer, this colander. You know, this is random, but here's the strainer that we've had for a few years now. This little guy. I don't even think you could call it, is this a sieve? Sieve? It's not even like a proper little pasta strainer. Like you can't pour, whatever. Anyway, saw this one and thought what a beautiful upgrade from this. Well, now we have both, but love that it had 2 handles. It's very heavy duty, and in my 30s, these are the things that make me very, very excited. So very thrilled about that. And then for a few of my Pregante pals, they had the whole selection of all of the non-alcoholic beverages, pretty little beverages. I've seen Seedlip, they have those, but I'd never seen this, Seedus. And I got Rose and Wild, and I intend to make little bundles of pregnant things because I'm so bad. I really try to be thoughtful, and I try to think of things to give people, but gift giving is not my love language. It's not my strong suit, and most of the time I just don't know what to do, and I'm like, here's a card. So I'm gonna try and make a cute little bundle. I don't think they watch these videos, so hopefully they won't see that, but if they do, whoa, surprise! You're having a cocktail that won't make you feel woozy. Yeah, anyway, all right, on to more cleaning and unpacking. I just wanted to tell you something funny, that I've been back on the Kindle train, okay? I told you guys that I wanted to reread A Court of Thorns and Roses, and it's been a few weeks now, honestly, and I prefer the Kindle, I've realized, before bed, because I can put the brightness so low. When I'm reading my book, I have to like have my lamp on or turn my little book light on, and they're really bright, and I'm sure I could find options. Don't yell at me, okay? I'm sure I can find options that turn down low too, but being able to turn the brightness down super low on this is amazing. And then it doesn't like flop in my face, you know? I put the little pop socket on here and I can just hold it. Whereas sometimes with my bigger books, it's just kind of annoying to hold. Do you know what I mean? Like, you guys know, I love books, okay? I love the feeling of a book. But for the purposes of reading before bed to fall asleep, the Kindle has been the goat. So much so that I literally can't even get through a single page. Like, when I turn the Kindle on, I start reading and I'm instantly asleep, which has been so nice. Meryl's also here. I've started letting her in the bedroom again. It's like to my own detriment for my allergies, but I just feel like she's just a good girl and she just wants to cuddle. And she just like makes my heart hurt, you know? I came back from that sad tale of a pet in Tofino, and I was just like, Meryl, I'm sorry, you can come back in bed. I love you, but you make me so ill. Okay, I love you guys a lot. See you all tomorrow for a new Landmas video. Bye!